let's just discuss about the pituitary glands. What are pituitary glands? It is a major structure and a coordinating center for the control of many downstream endocrine glands. And it is a pea-sized shaped structure situated at the base of the brain, lies in the pocket of the sphenoid bone called sella turcica. Pituitary gland consists of two anatomic divisions named as anterior pituitary gland and posterior pituitary glands. So as we have studied earlier about the hypothalamus, the structure called hypothalamus, which is below the thalamus, it functions with the limbic system as a unit. So it contains a variety of nuclei and nuclear areas which are connected to these lobes. Hypothalamus have neuronal connection with the posterior lobe and the vascular connection with the anterior lobe. Now coming toward the hypothalamus, you should know that hypothalamus and pituitary gland have an intimate and anatomical functional relationship. So there is a link between central nervous system and endocrine system. This helps to regulate the function of a number of endocrine glands. When a danger like rise in temperature or any other stimulus in our body is being sensed by our brain, it sends signals to the hypothalamus, which further gives order to the pituitary glands by releasing hormone. So by the time when hypothalamus gives order to the pituitary glands will definitely going to obey. It causes the anterior pituitary gland and posterior pituitary gland to secrete when any stimulus occur from the hypothalamus, and posterior will store and release when required. Now we will discuss about the vascular supply of anterior pituitary gland called hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system. It is an extensive network of capillary sinus surrounds the anterior pituitary cells. Most of the blood entering these sinuses have first passed through another capillary plexus in lower hypothalamus. So the blood from the lateral capillary plexus comes from the superior hypophyseal artery and flows through the hypothalamic hypophyseal portal system to the posterior stack to bath the adenohypophyseal cells. It mainly helps to transfer hormones from hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary glands. It can be stimulatory or inhibitory hormones. Now let's just move toward the anterior pituitary cells. Anterior pituitary gland is also known as adenohypophysis, and let's just discuss in little detail. We know the basic structure of hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Now we will focus on that how the cell present in the pituitary gland will perform their function. Releasing hormone and inhibiting hormone will act upon pituitary glands, just like growth hormone releasing hormone and other releasing hormone like thyrotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, and gonadotropin releasing hormone. These are all hormones which act upon the anterior pituitary gland, or we can call that adenohypophysis. Alright, there are different kinds of cell present in adenohypophysis, and all these different hormones act upon different cells to release a different kind of hormone which further act upon their target cells. So first we will talk about the somatotrophs and the lectotrophs. You should know that somatotrophs are being activated by the hormone known as growth hormone releasing hormone or growth hormone inhibiting hormone. This hormone will causes the somatotrophs to release growth hormone. Similarly, in the lectotrophs, it will release the prolactin. When lectotrophs are being inhibited by the hormone called prolactin inhibiting hormone, the prolactin will not release. Both of these cells are acidophilic in nature. Similarly, like somatotrophs and lectotrophs, there are other cells in the adenohypophysis as well, which are being activated by the hypothalamic releasing or inhibiting hormones. These cells are basically thyrotrophs, the corticotrophs, and the gonadotrophs. Thyrotrophs will release TSH, which is a thyroid stimulating hormone, and then corticotrophs will release ACTH, which will act upon the adrenal glands, and gonadotrophs will release luteinizing and follicle stimulating hormones, which will act upon the gonadal system. All of these cells are basophilic in nature. Just like somatotrophs and lectotrophs, they are acidic in nature. Another pituitary gland is the posterior pituitary gland, which is also known as neurohypophysis. As I have told before that hypothalamus have a neuronal connection between the posterior pituitary gland. Posterior pituitary gland is attached to the hypothalamus by hypothalamic stalk. There are certain nuclei present in the hypothalamus. From these nuclei, the hypothalamic neurons comes to the posterior pituitary gland, and there is a capillary bed which carries the hormones from the posterior pituitary gland to the circulation. Then there is a pair of nuclei present in the hypothalamus called paraventricular nuclei and supraoptic nuclei. Both of these nuclei secrete hormones called ADH, which is also known as vasopressin, and oxytocin. Now zooming onto the neuronal end of the posterior pituitary gland, there is a structure containing numerous hypothalamic neurons called hearing bodies. It stores the hormones until signals causes them to release in systemic circulation. So you should know that the hormones called ADH and oxytocin, they are being formed in the hypothalamus in the paraventricular and supraoptic nuclei. Both of these will be secreted to the posterior pituitary gland by the hypothalamic neurons, and it will be stored into the neuronal end. The function of ADH and oxytocin and other hormones which I have mentioned in this lecture will be covered into the next lecture. So it was all about the pituitary gland. Hope you have understand. And if you have any query, you can ask into the comment section. Thank you.